3 candidates who ran in this year's GFT election and did not win have filed a complaint with the American Federation of Teachers, asking them to look into the GFT election process. Carol Sommerflecht, Ed Kentenitsa, and James Nichols claim that the GFT Constitution was violated by the union's election committee.
And we found many discrepancies. So that was what it was about. There were several schools that never had a chance to vote. There were 2 schools whose votes weren't counted because of discrepancies. There were other areas besides schools that did not get a chance to vote.
Sommerflecht, who was a candidate for union president, also says that her observers were not allowed to stay for the final counting of the votes.
On the night of the ballot counting, we had observers. We have a right to have observers to watch the ballot counting up to the final tally. Well, before they got to the final tally, my observers were kicked out. So there again, another discrepancy where the Constitution says observers we are entitled to have observers stay until the final count, but they were kicked out.
GFT President Matt Rector, who was re-elected during this past election, however, claims that these complaints have no merit.
Fortunately for us, we are quite confident that the election committee did a great job. Good God, they spent 14 hours counting and recounting the ballots. The whole thing's on videotape.
Sommerflecht wrote to the election committee asking that they explain the problem she saw on election day, but she says she has yet to receive any response.
After a certain period of time, I can then submit my appeal to AFT, which the 3 of us did, and we submitted to them. And now, from the Secretary and Treasurer of the AFT's Executive Council out of Washington, D.C., this letter has come out that Mr. Rector, first step, must make sure that they respond to my inquiries.
In a letter to Rector dated March 16th, the AFT acknowledged that they have received a request to investigate the election. The letter also states that the GFT must submit a response to each of the allegations made by Sommerflecht to the AFT and to Sommerflecht by March 31st. Rector plans to comply, and he says he is confident that the AFT will find that the GFT did nothing wrong in the election process.
We're quite confident they did a great job, and the AFT is going to look into it as is appropriate and come back with the same conclusion the election committee had, that they have no merit to any of their complaints.